Coming up on Sports Paws, women's hockey wraps up its home schedule against Yale and Brown. After that, Quinnipiac travels to New Haven to take on a familiar foe. Finally, men's and women's basketball plays pivotal games at Lender Court. All that and more coming up on Sports Paws. Hello there, welcome to Sports Paws. I'm Colin Babcock.
And I'm Joey Zocco. It is great to be back behind the desk, Colin.
For your second time, just throwing it out there, this is my fourth time. So tonight, what do you think our top story is?
It has to be basketball. There was great action on Lender Court this weekend.
Well, Joey, there was indeed, but that's not our top story. Our top story tonight, folks, is centered around the women's ice hockey team.
The Quinnipiac women's hockey team was coming off a winless weekend on the road. During the weekend, the team suffered a 3-0 loss to St. Lawrence and a 3-3 tie against Clarkson. The Bobcats look to get back to their winning ways Friday night against rival Yale at the TD Bank Sports Center. And with the team trying to move up the pairwise rankings, every game is a big one. And so we go down to the TD Bank Sports Center. Quinnipiac entered 17-5-8, looking for their 18th win. Let's go to the first period. Quinnipiac's going to get on the board first. Out of the face-off, Sydney Rossler is going to take a shot from the point, and it's going to be Cheyenne Darkangelo who's going to be there, right place, right time for the goal. Quinnipiac up 1-0. That would be it for the first period, so now, midway through the second, the Bobcats are going to score again. There's going to be a lot of passing going on. It's going to eventually go to Nicole Connery. It's going to give it back to Megan Turner, and Nicole Connery with the rebound, and is going to score. The Bobcats take a 2-0 lead. Yale would find an opportunity after this injury. Aurora Kennedy was injured. Kelly Babcock was sent off for interference. And here comes Yale. Aurora Kennedy's going to pass it into the zone, Jackie Raines, and it's going to hit the pad of goalie Chelsea Layden and go in. Yale cuts the lead to 1.
How about that passing, Joe? It reminds me of my old days playing in high school.
I can't say I played. Here comes Yale. They're going to strike again. It's Gretchen Tarrant from the point, and Kate Martini's in the right spot. She gets the rebound and makes it 2-2. And Yale wasn't done, though. Hannah Astrom's going to control it and play it behind the net. Stephanie Mock going to get it back to Astrom in the slot for the goal. 3-2 Yale. They scored 3 straight and come back and take the lead. And that would lead to a Quinnipiac timeout. Head coach Rick Seeley going to talk things over.
You know, Joey, I was at this game and I just had a feeling that it was going to overtime.
Well, you kind of just ruined it, but here it comes. Kelly Babcock on the tip from Cheyenne Darkangelo with 1:05 left in the third. Ties it at 3. Big goal for Kelly Babcock. Would go to overtime. Game would end in a 3-3 tie, and here's head coach Rick Seeley on the tie.
Lack of commitment to protect the lead. I saw plays, no idea how they came up with decisions.
And on Saturday night, the Quinnipiac Bobcats hosted the Brown Bears at 4 o'clock, and this was senior night, and there's the grade 8 Kelly Babcock. She was honored pregame. What a career she's had here at Quinnipiac. And in the first period, there she is, dumping the puck in. Now, the Brown defenseman, Hunter Davis, thinks someone's out front, and someone is, but it's Kelly Babcock. Backhand beats the goaltender into the net. She puts QU up for an early lead, 1-0. Final stages of the first period. Look at this passing. Shelby Wignall, Amanda Collin to Megan Turner, finally with the tip right into the empty net. She puts QU up 2-0. Now, about 5 minutes into the second period, Nicole Brown takes the puck up. Morgan Fritz Ward, the center, Amanda Collin to Fritz Ward. The give and go, it works, Joey.
It even works in basketball. It's amazing. It works everywhere.
And she buries it 5-hole. That puts Quinnipiac up 3-0. They're cruising in this one. And then in the third period, Morgan Fritz Ward is there again. Right place, right time. Buries that rebound, 5-hole right there. That's her second goal of the game. QU up 4-0. Brown was just non-existent offensively in this game, throwing things on net. And how about the exclamation point here? Emma Woods getting the rock. Woo! Bar down. Wow, that superstar freshman. She's too good. And the Bobcats go on to win 5-0. Here's Amanda Collin, what she had to say after the game.
I think just having the leadership and the experience under our belts is just something that is second to none. You can't give a freshman that, no matter how talented somebody like Woodsy is. You just don't have the experience. So that's something obviously we have, but I think just the closeness and like the amount of care that we all have. There's not one person that we, on our entire team, let alone just the seniors, that doesn't care or that we question. So I think just that, to be able to, younger players to look up to us and know how much we're committed, how much we care, and how much we love each other as a group is something you can't teach, and we have it, which is something that is going to excel us through playoffs.
After a win and a tie at home, the Bobcats moved up in the USCHO.com poll. Quinnipiac is now tied with Robert Morris at 9th. Cornell, Clarkson, and Harvard are the other ECAC teams that are in the rankings. Minnesota once again collected all 15 votes to remain number 1 in the country. And now we bring in our women's hockey analyst, Gabbi Riggi, to break down some of the weekend. Now, Gabbi, Kelly Babcock tied the game late in the third period against Yale and was then acknowledged Saturday for senior night. How much has she meant to this team over her past 4 years?
I mean, I think it's pretty unanimous from anyone who's seen her play. She's the cornerstone of this Quinnipiac program. She has almost 200 career points, which is absolutely unheard of. And her leadership is apparent both on the ice in terms of her goal scoring ability and in the locker room as a senior leader for this team.
After their tie against Yale, the Bobcats scored 5 goals against Brown on Saturday. Who really jump-started the Quinnipiac offense?
I'm going to say second-line center Morgan Fritz-Ward. She put up 2 goals against Brown. She kind of helped spread out the offense. We're seeing more of it come off of the first line and trickle down to other players on the team. I'm also going to give a shout-out to the captain, Amanda Collin, who had 2 assists on the night.
Gabbi, look, there's 2 conference games left for the Bobcats. Where do you see them finishing in the ECAC?
I think it's a real possibility that they stay at number 4 where they are now, unless they sweep this weekend. You know, the number 1 and number 2 teams are the teams they're facing this weekend. If they're able to sweep them, they maybe have the possibility to overtake Harvard at number 3.
Well, Gabbi, thank you very much, and we'll hear more from you in a couple minutes. For the men's side, Quinnipiac and Yale, 2 schools that don't like each other, 1 sheet of ice. Friday night, the Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team traveled to Ingalls Rink in New Haven, Connecticut. They weren't playing for the Heroes hat, but they were playing for 2 points in the ECAC. And Quinnipiac taking the trip down to battle their real true rival Yale Bulldogs. Early on in the first period, Bryce Van Braben wins the faceoff. Corey Hibbler, first one to it, the captain, and first one to score, puts the Bobcats up 1-0, beats goaltender Alex Lyon, high glove side. He also had 2 assists in the game. But now the closing section of the first period. Pass comes out to Tommy Fallon. The shot on goal, and it's saved by number 4, Connor Clifton. Not Michael Garteg, but Clifton. Keeping the shutout intact, or should I not say that? Here we go. There's a scrum in front of the net in the second period. Sam Annis picks it up, and he buries it top shelf. That's where Mama hides the cookie jar. Where does your mom hide the cookie jar?
Top cabinet. It was high, way up there.
Top cabinet. Very interesting. Mine was the top shelf of the cookie jar, but that Sam Annis, team leading 17th goal of the season. This one was a fast game, and it really was. 18 seconds later, Connor Jones forces a turnover, and it goes to the other Connor Clifton, and look at him, he's so smooth. Throws it back across the grain, blocker side, beating the goaltender Alex Lyon, gives the Bobcats a 3-0 lead. Yale would try and make a game out of it on the power play. Kenny Agostino pass across to John Hayden with the shot, but Michael Garteg's leg was the answer right there. QU on the power play. Sam Annis with the puck, sees Pekka across the ice, rip shot, oh, shnikes! What a save by Alex Lyon with the glove. Hey, he could flash the leather and make the save, but he can't make the simple pass to the D, and Tommy Shutt puts it into the open net.
That was pretty easy. I think I could have made that one.
Yeah, I think I could as well. And the Bobcats, they get the shutout and 2 points against their rival Yale. They go on to win this game a big 4-0.
The Bobcats took the ice Saturday night, trying to follow up their win at Yale with another win at Brown. Quinnipiac would not, as they would fall to the Bears 4-2. The Bobcats could not come back after falling behind by 2 goals after the first period. Both Quinnipiac scores came on the power play, with the first coming from freshman Sam Annis 35 seconds into the second period, and the other coming with 4 seconds left in the second from senior Kellen Jones. The Bobcats' comeback would fall short in the third period, as they would be stonewalled by Brown goaltender Marco DiFilippo.
After the loss to the Brown Bears, the men's team remained second place in the ECAC with 25 points, 4 points behind the first place Union Dutchman. In the polls, however, Quinnipiac did not stay put. The team dropped 1 spot to 5th in the country. St. Cloud State took over the 4th spot, and Union remained in the 3 spot. Minnesota received 1 first-place vote, but Boston College held on to the top spot, receiving 49 of the 50 first-place votes.
This weekend, Quinnipiac split 2 games for the second weekend in a row. Here's what the players and coaches said this morning about Friday and Saturday's games.
I just thought, you know, you gotta be ready to play every game, and we were flat mentally. You know, guys weren't prepared, and you can't fake passion, you can't fake emotion, and you know, we talked about it after the Yale win about being ready. And yeah, Brown's a tough rink to play in. It's cold and it's quiet. We're not gonna have the same atmosphere, and we got to find a way to fight through it. And you know, we just didn't do a good job of it. No, we're confident. We need to get a little bit healthier for the playoff run. You know, and I think we need to be better on Saturdays. We've been great on Fridays all year. Our Friday record's phenomenal, and our Saturday record's not so good. So it's, you know, we get jacked up for that Friday game, and then we got to find a way to keep that emotion level up for Saturday.
Well, I think we had a lot of good things on Friday. You know, we were up for the game. You know, we were ready to play Yale, and I think what we've had a little bit of trouble with the last few weekends is, you know, showing up for the Saturday night game. You know, you got to play full 60 minutes both nights, and I don't think we played. I don't even think we played half a game against Brown. You know, we weren't ready right off the bat, and kind of dug ourselves a hole. So from here on out, we need to be ready for every opponent, every game, whether it's Friday or Saturday. Obviously, you can't look ahead, but you know, I think that's something we got to be better at because every points are huge.
Yeah, I think it's noticeable. I think we all know too. We all understand that. The last 3 weekends we've split, well, minus Dartmouth because we only played 1 game, but we're aware of that, and you know, we're still a young team. There's 4 games left, which isn't much, but there's plenty of well, you know, it's a weekend, 2 weekends that we can focus on winning that Friday game and then getting that Saturday game. And I think now it's getting more brought to our attention because of people are starting to know us, and we are a little bit more too. So I think we'll be better this coming weekend, and well, we need to be better. And you know, to win playoffs, you got to win 2 games in a row, and you know, it's something we need to work on.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. It's been tough all 4 years. We got that big Yale game, and it's just a different atmosphere when you go to Brown. It's just a different crowd, and no, it's up to us to have a better start and create that kind of energy for ourselves because the crowd and atmosphere isn't there. So no, it was a tough one on Saturday, but we need to get better at that for sure.
We now bring back our hockey analyst, Gabbi Riggi. So Gabbi, after hearing what the players had to say, what do you think the reason is for their struggles on Saturday?
Well, I think it's a couple of different factors. First one might be that, you know, they went from playing a really high-octane game on Saturday night to playing a 4 o'clock game Saturday morning. So it might have just been the time and kind of dealing with the pace of that. One issue that the team has had these past couple weekends is not playing 60 minutes. We see in the Brown game, they didn't come out playing hard early. That was something that Matt Pekka had said, that they don't start the game off really hard. That was something that happened to them again last weekend. They kind of skipped a little bit at the end of the St. Lawrence game, and that ended up coming back to bite them. So I think they have to play the full game. I also think something that Coach Pecknold brought up was the fact that they always get so ramped up for this game against Yale, but sometimes Brown, you know, gets overlooked, and that's something that they don't bring that same energy to, and Brown takes advantage of that.
It's a big weekend coming up with games against Cornell and Colgate. What is going to be the key for this team this weekend?
Well, I think the team definitely just has to get the power play going and, again, play those 60 minutes. They're a team that is so strong in so many different facets of the game. If they stick to their game plan and they execute it well, there's no reason why they can't succeed.
All right, Gabbi, but which team is a tougher matchup for the Bobcats? Is it Colgate or is it Cornell?
Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a maybe unpopular opinion. You know, Colgate's 2 points behind them in the ECAC standings, but I'm still going to say Cornell. Cornell has the big size factor. We've seen that kind of impact the Bobcats, who are a smaller team on the forward side. That's happened with them with games against Clarkson and games against Princeton, where they've been kind of overpowered and they haven't been able to keep the foot speed up. And I'm also going to say Cornell has Andy Isles in net. Andy Isles is one of the best goaltenders in the country, and you know, he can take a game that should be 5-1 and make it 2-2. So I think Andy Isles is definitely a big factor that can help Cornell out a lot this weekend.
And finally, do you think Quinnipiac will be able to get back into the top 4 in the pairwise rankings to get that #1 seed in the NCAA tournament?
I think it all depends on their success against the lower teams. They play St. Lawrence again, and what's really going to be the make or break is the RPI, which is the rank against a weak opponent versus a strong opponent. If they're able to beat both the stronger teams, the ranked teams, which they've been able to show, as well as beat a team like St. Lawrence again, they can be able to bump themselves back up.
Well, Gabby, thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and take a break here on Sports Paws. But when we come back, we'll flip-flop the men's basketball to see how they fared last week. We also have a men's basketball debate between analysts Giovanni Mio and Tom Cunningham. You won't want to miss that. Stay with us.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
Hello and welcome back to Sports Paws. The men's basketball team has been on a tear, and that tear continued Thursday night in Bridgeport. The Bobcats defeated the Fairfield Stags 80-72. It was the 4th straight game QU has put up at least 80 points. Ike Azotam continued his strong play for the Bobcats, scoring 23 points while adding 9 rebounds. Fairfield opened up the scoring, going up 1-0, but the Bobcats responded by scoring 16 straight points before the Stags freshman KJ Rose ended the run with a layup. Fairfield did make a game of it in the second half behind senior Maurice Barrow. The senior added 16 points in the second half and helped trim the lead to 4 with less than 7 minutes left in the game. But the Bobcats were too much for Fairfield in the end, as 5 players finished with double-digit points.
With injuries continuing to pile up, the Bobcats returned home Sunday for a rematch with the St. Peter's Peacocks. The Peacocks got the better of the Bobcats back in January, but now Quinnipiac is riding a season-high 4-game winning streak and looking to keep pace with Manhattan and Canisius in the race for second place in the MAC standings. And like I said, they come in winning 4 straight and 5 of their last 6. Bobcats are hot, and it was senior day at the bank. There's Ike Azotam and the other seniors, Shaq Shannon and Umar Shannon. Let's go into the first half. St. Peter's came out hot. It's going to be a driving kick to Chris Burke, who shoots and nails the 3. St. Peter's went up 5-0, and they weren't done with their run. Here's Burke again. He's going to drive and dish it off to Kadir Welton for the dunk. St. Peter's would go up 12-1, but the Bobcats would answer. Here's junior Zaid Hurst, the nice baseline jumper, and this would cut the St. Peter's lead to 3. The Bobcats weren't done. James Ford up ahead to Usman Drame. Keep those feet in, Us. And he does, and he gets it back to James Ford for the 3 at the top of the key. It's good. That gives the Bobcats a lead, and they would take the lead into the half, 31-27.
Joey, I hit that same three-pointer in my intramural.
Yeah. Well, can you do this? Zaid Hurst, the tip, and it's good. Everything going the Bobcats' way. They're starting to pull away. And here's Hurst again. When the ball's in his hands, good things happen. Finds Usman Drame for the dunk. Quinnipiac would go up 39-30 at this point. The lead would grow to 20 with about 8 minutes to go, but St. Peter's wasn't going away. There's White again, right past Shaq Shannon for the layup. They would press, cause some problems for the Bobcats, but this was the ending here. Conti to Azotam with the dunk, and the Bobcats would hold on to win 74-64.
I definitely couldn't dunk the ball, though.
Yeah, neither can I. And as I said, 74-64. Tom Moore after the game discussing his 2 goals for his team.
It's like a 2-pronged thing is what I'm hoping for. And so far, I got my fingers crossed, and it's been good so far. I'd like us to keep winning a respectable amount of games and get healthy. You know, we have 4 left. You'd hate to go 0-4. You know, you'd hate to go 1-3. But I'm trying to get 2 things out of these next 2 weeks. You know, a healthier team and a decent amount of wins.
Now let's take a look at the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference standings on the men's side. Quinnipiac's win against St. Peter's matched wins by Manhattan and Canisius on Sunday to keep the Bobcats in a three-way tie for second in the conference. Iona continues to lead the way in the MAC with their 14-2 record. The Gales have won 9 straight games and currently have a 2-game lead on the rest of the teams in the conference. And now I'm joined by our men's basketball analyst, Giovanni and Tom Cunningham. Tonight we're going to have the two of them debate about a few topics. The way this will work is both analysts will be given a 30-second opening statement, followed by some open debate before moving on to the next topic. So gentlemen, are you guys ready?
I'm ready to go.
I'm always ready to talk men's basketball, Joey.
That's what I like to hear.
That.
That's what I like to hear, Gio. Let's get it started then. Our first topic is, how were the Bobcats able to win both games this week, despite all the injuries the team has suffered?
Well, I think it was they were playing some of the worst teams in the conference. All 3 of their games were against teams in the lower half of the conference. Their last 2 against Fairfield and St. Peter's. Both of those teams have a combined 7 conference wins for the Bobcats 12. So I think with that mixed in with getting some quality play from some of the players, they were able to end up getting these victories. I think that once they start getting these players back, it'll be a different sort of story. But I think they also got off to a slow start against St. Peter's and Marist. If they continue to do that, I don't think this team will be able to continue to win these games against some of the better teams in the conference.
I feel as though the healthy players are playing well. That's the reason why the Bobcats have been doing so well in this recent winning streak. More specifically, Ike Gazetam and Usman Drummond, 2 big men down low. We have to not forget that Quinnipiac is first in the country in rebounding efficiency, and they showed that this weekend. They got off against a very slow start because they could not handle St. Peter's press, something that happened last month when they lost to them before. But what happened this time is that the healthy players, along with those 2, you had a healthy Evan Conti putting in some hustle minutes as well. James Ford hitting some big threes. I feel like the healthy players, even though they're a little bit low on the bench, they've been playing pretty well so far.
Now, Gio, you mentioned that the players that are healthy are playing well, but even going back to before these players got hurt, the coach Tom Moore wasn't going very deep into his bench as it was. He was only playing 8, maybe 9 players a game. So I think that's another reason, where the players that he was able to continue having on the floor despite these injuries have been the players that sort of continue to play well.
But the point is, the healthy players have been playing well, and the people he's going to are healthy. You're not going to go to an injured Umar Shen, or you're not going to tell him, hey, you have a concussion, come off the bench and start shooting for us. It's not the point here. I understand that St. Peter's is not really one of the best teams in the MAC, but when you put in some of your best players that are healthy at the moment, you're going to have some successful runs, and that's what Quinnipiac had, especially with the players that they had that are currently available for them off the bench.
And if Quinnipiac they want to make a deep run in the MAC tournament, they're going to have to get production from their bench. These other teams, they're deep. They have a lot of quality players, and the Bobcats can't say that injuries are the reason. All teams face injuries, and if they continue to have to overcome these sort of deficits, then they're going to have to get play from production from the entire roster, 1 to 12, not just the top 4 or 5 players.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our next question. How will the injuries affect the team going forward?
It's going to greatly affect them, Joey. Now, let me just rattle a few injuries that have had the Bobcats suffered so far this season. Umar Shen's out with a concussion. Justin Harris, concussion. Marquise Barnett, out for the year with a torn Achilles. Kasim Chandler coming off a broken toe. Now, Umar Shen is the starting point guard of the Bobcats. Marquise Barnett's a big man off the bench. Same with Justin Harris. Kasim Chandler is a 6-man, been scoring for the Bobcats, mostly getting double digits off the bench. That is going to greatly affect them because you lose your best point guard, probably one of your best facilitating point guards in the past few years since James Feldine, and then you lose Kasim Chandler, another scorer off the bench, and you lose another big man. And keep in mind, Quinnipiac's winning games mainly because of rebounding. I feel like by losing those players, it's going to greatly affect them in the long run.
Now, obviously, injuries play an important role in any team's success going through a season, but I don't think that these injuries are going to have a lasting impact on the Bobcats. Yesterday, after the win against St. Peter's, Coach Tom Moore said that he expects to have both Justin Harris and Umar Shannon back from their concussion injuries by Tuesday, and he also said that Kasim Chandler should be back within about a week. So I think once they start getting these players back, they'll sort of be able to get reacclimated to the team, get into their normal rotations, and then start getting ready to head into the MAC tournament.
Here's the problem, though, when it comes to injuries like this. Now, and concussion could either be a short-term injury or something long-term. It's got long-lasting post-concussion effects. Now, keep in mind, Umar Shan is the starting point guard of this team. If he's not able to come back and become adjusted to the system, and he's not going to be able to really think straight because of those post-concussion syndromes, that's going to affect him. And I understand that Kasim Chandler's coming back this week. I know that we mentioned that Umar and Justin are coming back this week as well.
But let's keep in mind here that these types of injuries can be lingering and they could be affected and they could easily be re-injured from the same injuries.
I agree. The concussions is definitely something to watch out for. We've seen it throughout sports and with a lot of different players. But I think if Kasim Chandler can stay healthy, and if, let's say, something does happen with Umar Shannon, his concussion does end up acting up again, Kasim Chandler should be able to step in as this team's sixth man and assume the point guard roles on this team.
Here's the problem with Kasim Chandler, though. At the beginning of the year, he got off to a hot start, but then he started to slow down. He's a freshman. He's not going to be able to handle that pressure. I don't care whoever you put in, it's going to be great as a freshman. The point is that Umar Shannon's a graduate. He's got the experience. Kasim Chandler, he could get there in a few years, but for now, that inexperience is going to hurt them if he's starting at point guard.
And I'm gonna jump in right here. You could tell without Umar they were a little rattled at times against St. Peter's, and I want to talk about that. The Bobcats lost to St. Peter's on the road back in January. What was different this time around? I mean, they had a little problem with the press, but they did win the game. And what was different this time around?
I think it had to be the shooting of the team. In the game back in January at St. Peter's, the team only shot 33% from the field, and the brutal 22% in the first half of that game. In this game on Sunday, in the win against St. Peter's, the team shot 50% from the field, 67% in the second half. I think that, and also in the second half of that game, Usman Drame went 4 for 4 from the field. Ike Azatan went 5 of 8, and Zaid Hurst was 5 of 6. So that shooting obviously played a big part in the victory.
Tom. What do the Bobcats do better than any team in the MAC?
Rebounding.
Rebounding. There you go.
Best team in the country.
Best team in the country. There you go. Now let me just pull up a few stats here. I don't want to pull up many stats, but in the loss, they out-rebounded St. Peter's 49-41. In the win, 42-28. Big difference. One reason why? Second chance points. Now, we know the Bobcats aren't really that great of a shooting team. They're a very inconsistent scoring team, but what gives them that advantage, those rebounds, those second chance points. And they had a lot more second chance points because of the rebounding in this game compared to the one they lost in the first meeting.
Now, yes, obviously this team is a great rebounding team, the #1 in the country, but they're expected to rebound the ball. Being the #1 rebounding team in the country, their shooting, like you said, is a bit of a surprise. So I think the fact that they shot 50% from the field in that game is a huge storyline.
Here's the problem, though. The reason why they got so many rebounds is they missed so many shots.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then. That was really good. We're going to talk about Thursday night, Quinnipiac or Canisius, really quickly.
All right, quickly, I'm just going to say this right now. I think Canisius is going to lose to the Bobcats because the Bobcats are going to rebound more. I feel like even though Billy Barron's a great player, has been good for the Golden Griffins all year, I feel as though in this game he's going to start getting on a little bit of a slump. He's a little bit too hot right now. Usually when people get this hot at this time of year, they usually fade away, so I'm going to go with the win for the Bobcats. All right.
Quickly, no, yeah, who do you got?
I got the Canisius winning, beating the Bobcats again this season.
Nice. All righty, and that'll do it for our debate. Thanks, guys. Coming up next, we'll recap the women's basketball action from this weekend, including their road game against rival Marist and a home game against former NEC foe Monmouth. Stay tuned to Sports Paws. We'll be right back.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken with cheese for just over $4, giant cheesesteak subs, and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's.
The Bobcat Shop, located at 1010 Sherman Avenue in Hamden. Your #1 choice for Bobcat merchandise. The Bobcat Shop features 2 floors of countless styles and colors. With a full 19,000 square foot screen printing and embroidery operation on the premises, Campus Customs and Simplify can design and decorate any garment or promotional product as quickly as needed. Stop in and say hi.
And welcome back to Sports Paws. The Quinnipiac women's basketball team lost to the Marist Red Foxes on Friday night by a score of 100-81. Despite the loss, the Bobcats had a couple of standout performers. Senior Brittany McQuaid recorded her 7th double-double of the season with 16 points and 11 rebounds. Junior guard Boo Abshire recorded 13 assists, coming in 1 assist shy of tying her career and school record that she set against American University on November 23rd. Marist shot almost 60% from the floor and were led by Sydney Coffey's 28 points. The Bobcats fall to 15-10 on the season and are 10-5 in MAC play.
After the loss to Marist, the women's team returned home to host Monmouth on Sunday. Heading into the game, Monmouth was ranked third to last in the conference and carried a 2-5 road record. These two teams have some history from their time in the NEC. This is their second meeting as MAC foes. And here we are up at Lender Court for the Quinnipiac women's basketball game, hosting the Monmouth Hawks. In the first half, Nicoline Ostergaard with the rock. She takes it to the hoop and with the right hand gets the layup to go. Quinnipiac up early, 4-0. Then Morgan Mann, she's going to get the pass. No hesitant, shoots a three. Is the bank open on Sunday?
No, they're definitely not open Sunday.
I didn't think so either, but regardless, Casey Chambers pulls up for the three. It's no good, but Sarah English dominating inside. She puts it up. It's good. Monmouth down 11-3. Now, Shavana Palvas, she's dribbling around. Can't see where to drive. She drives right, throws it up off glass, and good. The Hawks are down 30-19 at the break. But at the start of the second half, Maria Napolitano, the pass to Samantha Guastella, butter. Bobcats expanding their lead. Now, Morgan Mance takes the pass to Brittany McQuain, puts it up for three. That's a swish. Bobcats really starting to pull away now. And here's Brittany McQuain with the steal, the theft, and takes it in for the easy layup.
Cookies.
Well, Bobcats up 50-27. And hey, let's go ahead and seal it. Morgan Mance pass cross court to Ellie Cannon, and she knocks down the jumper, the three-pointer. The Bobcats go on to defeat the Hawks 83-50. Hey, Coach Fabry, what's up?
First half, great defensive effort, holding them to 19. Shot the ball okay to go up 11 at the half, but really the second half effort defensively really started us in transition when we were able to force more turnovers and play fast, which is outside our best. So we really clamped down. For us going forward for the rest of the remainder of the season, 4 regular season games into the tournament and then postseason play, it's really about the effort on the defensive end. This is a veteran team that has been in big spots and won big games and really takes pride in shutting teams down.
With the win against Monmouth, Quinnipiac gets within 1 game of Fairfield for 3rd place in the MAC. Iona stays in the lead with only 1 conference loss, with just 1 game separating the Gales and the Marist Red Foxes. With 4 games left, the Bobcats are pretty safely in the 4th spot in the conference, 3 games ahead of Ryder.
Well, Joey, it sounds like there's a lot happening as the winter sports seasons come to a close.
Yes, there is, Colin, and if you'd like to find out more, you can check us out on Twitter at Q30 Sports.
And you can also check out our new website, Q30television.com.
That wraps things up this week. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. I'm Joey Zocco.
And I'm Colin Babcock. Good night, everyone.